French Shalom and greetings to you all. Well, we're on the cusp of the 9th of Av, the dark day of the calendar, a day of evil, a fast day. So take a moment, light a candle, bring light into the world. And as dark a day as it is and has been in history, it is a day that was survived, and we continue to live, to flourish, to exist, to thrive. Now, I had several emails and calls last week about two things in particular: the destruction and killing of women and children regarding the Midian War, and how it reminded some of the separation of families in today's day and age. And the other was that words no longer have the same weight that they appeared to have back then. Now, isn't that what great sacred texts do? They make you think about today's events, today's morals and ethics, today's beliefs. But friends, it was not that long ago that words still had impact. A promise, a vow, did not require legal contracts. The words themselves had weight. Now, the words were what counted. And isn't that what a living text imparts? If the Torah really does convey the words of the living God, then it continues to impart revelation regardless of how many times a person has read it. It will always be new. Now, we're about to begin the fifth of the 5 books of Moses. Now, look how you've almost completed another year, another reading of the sacred text. And I bet you got something new and get something new every time we get together and look at it. But first, let's all gather, the spirits of all those who have faith and no faith, of hopes, dreams, and wishes. And let's take a moment and invite that collective consciousness of spirit seekers to come together in a showing of faith, of love as a community, a chavur, a fellowship, when we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all, this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually. Come on, friends, come gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. And as a community, let us all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world, my friends. As we pray for healing and renewal in light of the dark day of the year, let's call for healing and renewal for everybody we know. So think whoever you can that needs healing and renewal or just goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, my friends. It's for your pets. It's for the earth. It's for the healing of the earth. The tikkun olam that's part of our genetic makeup. For Aubrey, for Ben. For Monty, for Deborah, and the one and only Rosemary. And of course, make sure you include yourself. You all need renewal too. And let's say a special prayer for my dear friend Mary, whose father died suddenly the other day. He is at rest in the Garden of Eden, where the Master of Mercy will care for him under the protection of his wings for all time, and where his soul will be bound up in the bond of eternal life. Friends, it is the kindness, healing wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit never dies. Sheberech Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. Mishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed the world over. Now remember, friends, this is you just setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your own little sacred space to talk to whoever, whatever you believe in. It's part of your kavana, your intention, your personal goodwill. Now, this week we begin devarim, the words, otherwise known as Deuteronomy. the final book of the Torah. Now, the Lubavitcher Rebbe stated that the opening phrase of the book, "These are the words which Moses spoke to all Israel," implied that a person should always regard the words of Torah as something new and exciting, no matter how many times he studied them in the past. Rashi said they should be new in your eyes every day. And the Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of the Fathers, which I've quoted before, says, turn it over again, for everything is within it. Every time you read this book, my friends, you will find something new. Now, this book, devarim, means the words. It's Moses' farewell address more than anything else, but it is actually far more than that. Let me hear you say the words I want to hear. Darling, when you're near. And the opening parsha is a special one to me, as this was my ordination parsha, and you never forget things like that. But the words of this book are a recap of the laws. Hence the Greek name Deuteronomy, which actually means second law. Because one ancient name for the book of Deuteronomy is Mishnah HaTorah, which means repetition of the Torah. And it's based on the Hebrew phrase in Deuteronomy 17:18, Mishnah HaTorah Hazot, a copy or repetition of this teaching or law or Torah. It's not so much about the laws as it really is about the words. And you will see how important the choice and use of words is. Now, the book of Deuteronomy pictures the last events of Israel's 40 years in the wilderness and the last events of Moses' life. It ends with Moses' death, which is the climax and culmination that the book of Numbers lacked. Now, picture the scene. The people are at the end of a journey. They're located east of the Jordan River at the border of the Promised Land in the plains of Moab. They are about to enter a new land and a settled life, and their leader is about to die. Well, Moses gives a glorious farewell speech. It starts off unappealingly to the audience. It's a review of history, mostly unpleasant, a criticism of the people's unworthiness, then a lengthy list of laws, reviewing some old ones, adding many new ones, then a list of blessings and horrible curses. But then there's a beautiful conclusion, encouraging, inspiring. It contains history, law, great wisdom. In places especially near its end, it truly is beautiful, poetic, inspired, and inspirational. And the act of expounding and explaining announces the intellectual's theme, in all likelihood, drawing on Hebrew wisdom traditions that sets this book apart from the preceding four. Now, the narrative has come a long distance from the cosmic Genesis 1. Now, for the whole of the last book of the 5 books of Moses, it's a picture of a group of people listening to the speech of a man. No seas split, no angels appear. There are, in fact, no miracles at all in Deuteronomy. Man's struggle with himself is truly about to begin. The stories of individuals and families in Genesis now become the stories of nations in Deuteronomy. Now, Moses appeared at the burning bush and told God he was not a man of words. And we watched him grow and develop and transform. And he gives a lesson to us all. Anyone can grow and become stronger and better. Now, by virtue of this book's being a speech, Moses now speaks for himself. And the narrator no longer speaks about or for him. He's an example of what each of us can be. He was a regular human being with weaknesses, a temper, fears, and flaws. Kind of like me. With key pieces unrevealed. Comes to be the leader of a nation, a spokesman for God, and the founder of a faith that plays a role in the destiny of humankind. In the beginning, I misunderstood, but now I got it. The word is good. Spread the word, and you'll be free. Spread the word, and be like me. Spread the word. I'm thinking of, have you heard? The word is love. It's so fine, sunshine. It's the word, love. Now, it is the word. That is the most important word. Forget all the other rules. Forget all the other laws. The one real law that you got to know is the law of love. But it is the words. These are the words that Moses spoke to all the Israelites across the Jordan in the wilderness in the Arabah opposite Suf, between Paran and Tophel. 11 days from Horeb by way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea. 11 days. The journey from Horeb, the other name for Mount Sinai, to the Promised Land only needed to take 11 days. And we know when. It was in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first of the month. Well, think of this juxtaposition. It cries out for us to consider all the ways of interpreting this fact. The irony, the waste, the necessity, the experience, the growth, the suffering, the need for new generation who not known slavery, the inability of humans to outgrow a trauma of mammoth proportion to an entire nation. Now, is that any different for the Holocaust generation and their children? The new generation stands on the brink of the Promised Land, and perhaps they think, if only my parents had lived to see this. Listen to how Moses talks. Deuteronomy 1:9. And I said to you at that time, saying, Moses will continue to speak this way. He mixes past, present, future generations all together. So in the end, it becomes the message for each generation who reads this text. He gives a brief history of the events that led the people to where they are, with recaps of laws, flipping between the plural you as a people to the singular you as a person. But this recap leaves out the magic. Other than a reference to the fiery cloud, he begins to tie knowledge of good and bad with life and death. And this will culminate in the great choice he gives each individual later when he challenges them to choose. He says to the people, Deuteronomy 1:43, and I spoke to you, but you didn't listen, and you rebelled against the Lord's word. Now this foreshadows developments coming throughout the rest of the Tanakh, in which God will be described as hiding his face, not seeing, not listening, always in response to the people's not listening to God. It will be stated explicitly among God's last words to Moses at the end of the Torah. Now, emotionally, the wilderness is a place to be remembered with fear and trembling, a place that tried the soul of the nation. Kol hamidbar hagadol v'chanora hahu. All that great and fearful wilderness. There is a haunting memory of a very palpable experience here. Friends, the members of the historical audience of the book of Deuteronomy are implicitly invited to imagine what their forebears actually saw, to see it vicariously. The Midrashic notion that all future generations of Israel were already present as witnesses at Sinai is perhaps actually generated by this rhetorical strategy of the evocation of witnessing in Deuteronomy. Hey, we know that all the people standing before Moses now would have been under the age of 20. Perhaps most of them, indeed, as yet unborn at the time of the events recalled in most of his speech. Now, most of those listening to Moses' words could not literally have seen any of the things he speaks. But the people is imagined as a continuous entity, and we are still a continuous entity. Yes, my friends, it is the words. Will you hold me so close that my knees grow weak, but my soul is flying high above the ground, trying to speak, but no matter what I do, I just can't seem to make any sound. And then you took the words right out of my mouth. It must have been while you were kissing me. You took the words right out of my mouth, and I swear it's true. I was just about to say I love you. It is the unique event at Sinai that's at the very matrix of collective memory in Deuteronomy. The 10 words enunciated in Exodus are decreed again here. And though there are certain famous divergences in wording between the two texts, the restatement of these 10 foundational imperatives reflects nothing of the revisionary impulse that's so evident in the reformulation of predecessor laws elsewhere in the book. And he told you his covenant that he charged you to do, the 10 words, and he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone, and me did the Lord charge at that time to teach you statutes and laws for you to do in the land into which you are crossing over to take hold of it. I love how Moses' recap emphasizes the us and them, the we, as he speaks to these people, most of whom are not born yet, but it makes them a part of it all. And watch for that throughout this entire discourse. Yes, the world is sacred, and the words of the world are sacred. And so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your blessings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, my friends, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourselves. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You do have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you, as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you, please act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power, my friends, lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. To make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed. And you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are the power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with your words. Bless others, bless yourself, and love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief. And do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you have experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them and tell them what they mean. And remember that you are never alone on your journey to your promised land. And watch your words, my friends. They hurt you, they heal you, they imprison you, but they also free you. They say every man needs protection. They say every man must fall. I see my own reflection somewhere so high above this wall. I see my light come shining. I don't need no doctor or no priest. Any day now, I shall be released. Watch your words, my friends. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving. Imprint your will on the blank canvas of life and keep celebrating being free to be you. Goodbye, 9th of Av, and get ready for the 15th, the Jewish Valentine's Day, the Day of Love. It's coming up next week. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.